Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and seen something off? Something not quite human staring back at you? That's the feeling I got when I really studied my best friend's eyes recently. Let me tell you, what I saw in there will haunt me for the rest of my days. It all started a few months ago when Jake and I went on a weekend camping trip. Just the two of us roughing it in the great outdoors like we've done countless times before. We've been inseparable since we were kids. Jake is practically a brother to me, or at least he used to be. On the first night of the trip, we were sitting around the campfire swapping stories and old war stories from our college days. Just like always, I don't know what made me really focus on his eyes that particular night, but something seemed different. Have you ever tried to look at one of those optical illusion pictures that keeps shifting every time you think you've made sense of it? That's what it felt like staring into Jake's eyes. Just when I thought I had my focus locked on, some undefinable flicker or shimmer would flit across, breaking my concentration. Creepy, right? I brushed it off at first, figuring it must be a trick of dancing firelight or my own tired eyes playing tricks on me. But the uneasy feeling persisted, gnawing at the back of my mind throughout the whole trip. Needless to say, I was relieved when we got back home to the city a few days later. Once we were back in the comforting familiarity of our own routines, I forgot all about the weirdness I had perceived in Jake's eyes, for a little while at least. A couple weeks later, Jake and I met up at our favorite dive bar for a night of pool, beer, and bowling alley nachos like we did every Friday night. As we were sitting there chatting and eating, I looked up mid-conversation and caught his gaze. And there it was again. That same indescribable sense that something was off. This time, instead of a subtle shimmer, it felt like his eyes were almost swirling. The colors and shapes within them constantly shifting and rearranging themselves into kaleidoscopic patterns. I blinked hard and shook my head, half expecting it to have been some weird visual flare from the dim bar lighting. But when I refocused, Jake's eyes were back to normal. Or what I had always thought was normal, at least. It was almost as if whatever I had glimpsed behind those shockingly blue irises had retreated back into the shadows the moment I noticed it. "You okay, man?" Jake asked, no doubt registering the look of confusion on my face. "Yeah, I'm good," I lied, quickly changing the subject to the basketball game playing on the TV overhead. I didn't want him to think I was losing my mind. Over the ensuing weeks, I found myself studying Jake's eyes intently anytime we hung out, obsessively searching for even the faintest hint of whatever the hell it was I thought I had detected. Sometimes I would catch tiny flickers or flashes out of the corner of my eye, but whenever I tried to focus directly, his eyes would appear totally normal. It started driving me half crazy, questioning my own reality and perception. Was I simply going insane, projecting some sort of delusional vision onto the eyes of my best friend? Or was there actually some sinister secret lurking inside there, hiding itself from me every time I got too close to the truth? The suspicion and doubt soon gave way to full-blown paranoia. I became convinced that something, whether spiritual or psychological, I couldn't say, had invaded Jake and was burrowing deeper and deeper with each passing day, lying in wait to reveal its true nature when I finally let my guard down. Have you ever become hyper-focused on some nagging issue or mystery to the point where it engulfs your every waking thought? That's where I found myself in regards to the question of what was happening to my best friend's eyes and, by extension, his mind and soul. Before too long, I began researching the occult, possession, and other fringe pseudosciences, all in a desperate bid to find some explanation or answer about what could be causing such an unsettling change in my oldest friend. That's how I first came across some of the ancient legends surrounding demonic entities with the ability to disguise their true form behind pleasant human disguises, often hiding their evil behind beautiful human facades. Things only deteriorated as sleepless nights and torment took their toll. I wanted to help Jake, but I was too afraid. I confided in Jake less, withdrawing from our relationship, convinced he couldn't be trusted, that the thing inhabiting him was biding its time to strike. Have you ever felt like you were two people? One handling daily life while an unhinged half lurked beneath, consumed by obsession and delusions. That's exactly how I felt during that nightmarish downward spiral. What sent me over the edge was seeing Jake at a party weeks later. I'd avoided him for a month, as his presence now filled me with dread. But there he was, sipping a beer and chatting like nothing was amiss, as if he wasn't possessed by unfathomable evil, lying in wait to drag humanity to hell itself, which I was utterly convinced of. I couldn't take my eyes off Jake, or more accurately, his eyes. The way they seemed to glow with inner malevolence, shifting with ethereal patterns that chilled my blood. Before I could stop myself, white-hot rage overtook me. How dare this demon parade around in my former friend's skin, fooling everyone? It twisted and consumed the real Jake's memory. Consumed by righteous fury, I stormed across the room until I stood before Jake. His eyes went wide with shock as he registered my utter hatred. "Buddy, you okay?" But it was too late. I seized his collar, jerking him toward me. "Show me what you really are," I roared, spittle flecking his face. "I know you're not Jake anymore. Show me your true form, demon."